Hello everyone and welcome back to another Sims 3 speed build. Welcome to another house that I guess I'm not really sure. I keep saying in these, it's kind of like a series. It's kind of like the series of, the house builds that I was doing while I was testing. I'm not sure how many houses we were actually in. But this one is, I called it Pistachio Farmhouse because it's basically a farmhouse style. But it's in like the pistachio green color. I actually really like that color of house, the pistachio green. Now I have seen some houses that have that color and it just doesn't look very good, but this one I think turned out pretty nice, and that's kind of why I called it that. I don't know what expansions packs we're using for this one. I'm going to guess that we are on house number 3, maybe, for the testing. I'm not really too sure. I know we had one that, or a couple of them, 2 of them that was when it was, or no, actually 3 of them when it was still acting up, but I think after we got it fixed, I think this is house number 3, so not really too sure. But this house is a family home, has 3 bedrooms. I'm not really too sure how many bathrooms it has. It does have a split level living room. It also has, let's see, it's definitely going to be your more established families that are going to live here, because this is going to cost you about 87,000 simoleons. So it's not, it's not super expensive, but it's also not really cheap either. So, it's just gonna, depend on your family. I really like the house. A lot of times I try having bedrooms, on the main floor, but in this case, we have, all the bedrooms upstairs. So here I'm getting the pistachio green color. I don't know why I had chose this color. Actually, this video was, put together and sped up back in April 16th. So we're looking at 2 months ago on these builds. So, yeah, I can't really remember. I really couldn't tell you what I was thinking. I couldn't tell you what I was doing. All I can pretty much do is either just talk to you about whatever and talk to you about what I see on the screen, because I really don't remember any of it. So it does have a little bit of a play area in the backyard. Not a whole lot. You know me, I don't really do a whole lot in the backyard. I like to add a bunch of trees. That's really about all I do. The landscaping is fairly simple, nothing too extravagant. As always, none of my landscaping ever is super extravagant, but you can kind of see where we're starting to, figure out where we're going to put some of the landscaping, and of course, the pine trees. I love the pine trees. They're just trees that you see pretty much everywhere in this area anyway. I see a lot of pine trees, so these are the bushes I really miss in Sims 4. I really miss having bushes that don't have flowers. It's like, sometimes you just want greenery. You don't always want all these flowers all the time. It's like maybe a little bit of splash of flowers, but come on, when are we going to get some plants that don't have any flowers? I'm tired of plants with flowers. Sometimes it's just too busy. Sometimes you want something a little bit more simple and not so busy with flowers, but that's pretty much it. On the landscaping. As you can see, that was really quick. Now I'm just trying to get the floor plan figured out. Sometimes I gotta do the upstairs before the downstairs, because sometimes with the houses you're not really too sure where the stairs are going to be able to fit in to begin with. So sometimes you kind of have to do the upstairs first. And this is when I decided I was going to go ahead and do a split level living room. Of course, I did not have that in my plans when I first started, so we kind of have to do the constrained floor elevation and everything while I'm in the process. A lot of that stuff would just be easier if I knew I was going to do that to start with, and then I could have planned for it and it would have been a little bit easier, but as you can see, that came later. So the kitchen is pretty much right here where you see it's kind kind of a different type of layout. It's open floor plan, but yet at the same time, certain rooms are still closed off. Like I think that one room I think is going to be an office, which is kind of strange. It's coming off the kitchen. That's a little weird. I don't know. That's just strange. I myself actually don't know if I've ever seen a house that has an office coming off the kitchen. So that's a little strange. But that's just kind of the way it happened. I still like the house. I like the way it turned out. The floor plan is a little strange, especially for me. I tried to do floor plans that make sense and floor plans of houses that you would actually see in real life. Not very often do I have ones that are a little strange. But it's still, it should still play easy. There shouldn't be any problems with it. It's not too bad. It's not like I have a kitchen in this mansion that's all the way at one end of the house, and then you got to go through, say, entrances and living rooms and other hallways to get to the dining room, which would also seem strange. But in the past, I have seen builders do that, and I don't know what they were thinking when they did that. That really don't make sense. So, at least this isn't quite as bad. It could be worse. Could be worse. Going through, I finally, as you can see, have decided what kind of wood that I wanted throughout the house for the trimmings. It's kind of a lighter color. I don't usually do this color too often just because light colors glare funny from the lights. So a lot of times I don't choose a light color because you gotta tone or darken the shade. A lot of times when you do the lighter colors and you have the lights and you have to go into cast and change the lights and the colors, and yes, I don't usually do these colors very often. I have had, of course, messages about mods that allow to move, I believe the curtains was one of them. And mirrors, I think, was another. I have not got to test any of that yet. I have not put that in my game quite yet. Of course, these houses are going to be done prior to that knowledge. I didn't even know that mod even existed, which is odd for me because when I first got this game, oh my goodness, I had so many mods and I looked up so many different things. I've actually eliminated a lot of my mods, believe it or not. It got to a point where I had so many, it was ridiculous. Although I have thought about adding a few more back in. I kind of miss this vampire mod that I had. Some kind of vampire overhaul or something. I don't know. But I actually saw vampires would actually bite my sim and actually turn them autonomously, and I would have to say that is definitely something that I don't ever see since I've taken that out, and I kind of miss it. I kind of miss the unexpected, things that the vampires would do. So, but of course, my usual whenever I do a sunken, because you know how much I absolutely hate the lighting in The Sims 3. It's ridiculous. It drives me nuts. Of course, I like to then put in, I usually use the wood. Most of my sunken rooms will have a wood paneling, wainscoting type of look. Those for me are the easiest to try to get to where they will match the best, as in get the shades correct. That way when you're playing in the game you don't see a huge difference. And yes, it was giving me problems with the darn coloring, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. I don't know why some of the walls decided they're just going to stay black like that. I kind of remember it doing that, and I remember that all of a sudden it just appeared and was fine. So I'm not really too sure. So, but yeah, those lights of course will be gone when you play in the game. However, if you do go into build mode, of course you're going to have a whole pile of them because there are a ton of them used in this little itty bitty room. So as you can see, it looks like your theme color for this area, for the sunken area, is going to be a light pale blue. I put the fabric on that you find in the chairs, the dining room chairs. I love that fabric. it's got the little flowers, and you can change their colors to match whatever you want. I just love that one, and I went ahead and put it in those chairs, my old-fashioned chairs I love using. I use them everywhere. If you notice how many houses I actually have them stupid couches in, they're like in every house. Well, not exactly every house, but oh my gosh, there are a lot of them. That is for sure. That is probably the one piece of furniture that you're going to find in majority of my houses. I do try to change it up a little bit with different side chairs here and there. As you can see, I got that chair. I think I used it in another house previously and made a bedroom orange. I think that's when I used that chair last. Just cluttering up the office, getting the shelf out and putting a bunch of junk on it. If you ever seen my office, it is a disaster. It looks like a tornado came through here. That's just because the one thing I absolutely hate doing is filing papers and paperwork. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Oh my gosh, I just do. It is the one thing that I hate the most. So yeah, my office is just covered in papers. It's not technically messy, it's just a lot of papers. And as you can see, I had to remove that mirror. That obviously my graphics are not turned up yet, and it didn't have the the lines and stuff in it, but that's because I forgot I put a guest bathroom there. Oh my goodness. And I needed a door. I've done that before. I completely forgot doors, and then I had to reroute the doors or do something, and I was like, I can't really have the bathroom be accessible from outside. This isn't like that beach house I had done. This needed to be accessible from inside the house. It just wouldn't have made sense. So yeah, I had to remove that mirror and get that door in before I forgot again. So I'm going to say there's 2 bathrooms. There's going to be one upstairs and one downstairs, because I know earlier I had said something about not knowing. Well, I know there's one upstairs, and of course we have this one. So there's at least 2. Sometimes I actually completely forget about guest bathrooms. I try not to, but I feel like I've made a house before, a rather large one actually, and there is no guest bathrooms. The only bathrooms are the ones upstairs with the bedrooms or the master bedroom, I remember where I did that at. I did a beach, not really beach house, but a sand house type of house or whatever for Sims 4, and there's no guest bathroom. None. There is no bathroom in the downstairs living area. It's ridiculous. It's because I forgot. When I was doing the floor plan, I completely forgot about it. So this house actually didn't take very long. When you don't have very many expansion packs, you don't have very much to choose from, and you everything loads up really quickly. But when you don't have as much stuff to look for, don't have as much to choose from, you kind of just end up using the same stuff over and over again. Like, there's that same stupid bookshelf that I've already used. I tried putting in expansion packs that I knew that I used more often, because there are certain things, certain packs that have objects that I use all of the time. Like, if you ever download anything of mine and it says it has Into the Future, odds are all it is one shelf. I think there's one shelf that I use. That's it. So not always do I have an expansion pack that's listed. Do I actually use a lot of items? Sometimes it's just one stupid shelf. So, but this bedroom actually turned out really nice. I liked it. I'm not sure when I started feeling like I was using the same colors and everything seemed to be the same. I think it'll happen. Oh, I'm not sure what the name of the house is going to be, but it's going to be one that has a lot more items. I really start feeling like I'm doing the same stuff over and over and over. I really don't know where that house is going to be at, and I don't know if I'll remember which one I was thinking that in. But when you do this many houses in 2 weeks' time, that really makes you feel like you're being very repetitive. I just felt like I was just doing the same stuff over and over. Even though this bedroom has different patterns I don't normally use, I always try to make them a little bit different for the kids' bedrooms. But my other rooms just felt like it was the same things over and over, and I hate that. That's why I usually do a few builds at a time, you know, within a couple weeks, and then I take a few weeks off, because having a couple weeks off in between builds really helps keep you from feeling like you're repeating all of the time. So this room, of course, is more of a teenage room. I don't mind doing teenagers' room. I actually like doing kids' rooms because it just seems easier to throw a bunch of junk around. I mean, it's a kid's room. They're not really organized in the first place, and it's just really easy to just throw stuff around. But at the same time, you gotta make sure that they can get to their stuff. You gotta watch that routing. You don't need your Sims standing around screaming and yelling at you because they can't walk through because of some stupid toy in the way. So I have done that. Yes, there's a lot of floral rugs. I apologize if there's flower rugs in the boys' bedroom, but there was no rugs. I did not have expansion packs that had good rugs. They were horrible. All I had was flowers, so that's what you're gonna get. The bunch of flowers. I tried at least changing them to different colors to kind of work, but yeah, you're gonna have flowers. I actually like that rug, but I don't really feel that it fits in a boys' room. But I don't really like some of the other rugs. Like, I don't think... I must not have had the expansion pack that had all the different circles. Or maybe I just chose not to use it. I don't know. But, yeah. A little bit of repeating there on the rug. So I apologize for that. At least they're different colors. You gotta give me that, right? So, you know, just the bathroom. The bathrooms were really the ones I started feeling like I was doing over and over and over again. I always try to make them different. I like them to be unique and not be the same from house to house. But they are the hardest rooms to make different and unique, I would have to say. The absolute hardest. And as you can see, I had forgotten the towel for your hands and I had to put that back in. And here's a little bit more landscaping. Sometimes I don't know what kind of children rooms or anything like that that I'm going to have in the house until after I've furnished. So that's why sometimes you'll see, play set areas and stuff being added later. That's because I don't always know what I plan on doing. But we are actually getting close to the end of the video. As you can see, I am putting up outside lights, which is always the last thing I do. For some reason. Maybe it's just, I know everything's done and figured now that I know that everything's done, including landscaping, I guess it's the time to do lights. So I hope you enjoyed. This time I uploaded the download link to this house before I even did the commentary. So this time you should be able to download the house as soon as you watch the video. So I hope you enjoyed. Any comments or suggestions are welcome. Leave them below, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.